Good morning. Um, just a public service announcement. My cats have discovered the mouse pointer on my monitors here. Um, and they're anxiously waiting to play with it some more. So I'm looking for different ways to entertain them. But just so you know, they may pop up. Yeah. This is Carly. She's waiting patiently. There she goes. Maybe she won't stick around. All right. So good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Barb. Good morning, Doug. All right. So listen, we're going to talk about Wilcom software. Remember, I said I was going to bounce back into my experiences with Impressions and Impressions Expo in Long Beach over in Doug's neighborhood. So we're going to start with Wilcom. Um, I forgot where I was going. Let me just pop this up here. There we go. I'm all about my PowerPoint presentations these days. So this is episode 162, The Future of Wilcom. And of course, got rid of my keyboard. So let's go ahead and get started. There we go. The invite. Um, I was invited. Along with a bunch of other people, were invited to meet with several members of the Wilcom team to talk about the software. Good morning, Gail. Good morning. Sorry, couldn't see who it was. So we were invited to talk about the software, things that we use, the things that we like, um, where it's going, what we'd like to see happen. And this is what today's episode is about. Good morning, Cindy. Cindy, good morning. Next, the why we were invited. Wilcom wants user input. Not just the users that were invited to this little meeting, but all of the users. Yes, that includes any of you out there that are using Wilcom software. Their plans are to introduce a new version every year. Now, before we get too far here, you do not have to upgrade every time there's a new upgrade. Good morning. Good morning, Letty. Good morning. Um, but they want us, to be involved and make suggestions about what we would like to see and what would make the software work better for us. But first, let's talk about the present. And again, and I'm going to say this often, you do not have to update with every new release. If you like your version and it does everything you like, everything you want, you don't need to upgrade. In fact, I read someplace, God, I don't know, surfing on the internet, that typically a user will upgrade every third version. If that suits for you, that's wonderful. Um, Now, if you choose not to, hold on, Gail's got Joanne, hi. Gail had a comment here. Let's see what she has to say. There's starting to be too many embroidery software programs. I already have Stitch Artist, Embroidery Legacy. I can't add another one. And that's fine, Gail. If your softwares do what you want them to, that's no problem. Now, I know you're talking that there are too many embroidery software programs. Let me caution you that I know Embrilliance is not this, but I do know that Legacy is a rebranding of another software. I believe it's the Dime software. Um, they take a software, they might change it up a little bit, and then they'll put their own name on it. So a lot of these new softwares are rebrandings of other softwares. So yes, there are more and more all the time. But again, if you're happy with the software you've got, don't change it. Wilcom is a big investment. If you're using it for commercial means, if you're doing commercial work with your software, you might want to consider it. It has a lot of great functions and a lot of great elements that can help you make your work a little more efficient. But if you like your software, don't change it. Now, for those of you that are using Wilcom, if you choose not to update, if you choose not to upgrade your version, one of the questions that came to me that I took to the meeting was, what about ongoing support? I made it before the end. Yes, you did, Joanne. Good. Who else is here? Evelyn. Evelyn made it. Yes. Uh, okay. Doug's talking about Pulse software. Not quite sure where that started, but um, he's talking about, Doug put out there a message that says um, Pulse, which is another big commercial software. Pulse interfaces is very different. It's a back-end engine. Okay, we don't want to get into the whole programming of software. I don't know about you, but I don't care how the programmers make it work. I don't care how the programmers make it work. I just want to make sure that it works. And Gail says she needs to learn the ones that she has first. Um, but that Wilcom is on her bucket list. Doug says that Legacy is based on Pulse. Okay. And again, whether it's based on Pulse or it's based on another software, it is a rebranding of a software. Um, The developers of that software did not go out and develop a brand new software. What they did was they went to the developers of the software that they wanted to use and they asked, can you create features for this? Can you downsize your software to be under my name? Okay, so with all of that, let's get back here. Let me scroll. So again, going back to the Wilcom software, if you choose not to upgrade, whether it be your dongle version or a digital version, um, and again, this is a question that came to me, what's going to happen to my version 10 years down the road? Um, it's still going to be there. Your software is still going to be available to you. In fact, I talked to Brendan about this. Brendan is uh, developer and programmer with Wilcom. Your version will always have support. Free support is provided for the current version and the previous two versions. Anything after that, if you need support for E2, there is a fee base. But otherwise, your software will always be there. Never have to worry about your digital software not working anymore. The only thing that might derail your software is Windows. They cannot they cannot build a software to project for future Windows upgrades or future OS upgrades. So if that's the case, that might be a point where you have to update. But keep in mind that the digital version of Wilcom is not dependent on Windows OS. It's cloud based. Um, you're working off of their servers, not off of your specific computer. Well, you're working on your computer, but the software is based on their servers. Now, let's talk about dongle versus digital. I'm sure you've noticed in the last few years that a lot of softwares are going to digital, to the digital platform. And Wilcom is also going digital. And I believe I heard in the discussion in this room that the DE, the first digital version of Wilcom, um, the first digital version of Wilcom will be the last version that offered a dongle version. Again, dongle users, your software will continue to be supported. And again, you do not have to upgrade. Wilcom is going to a digital platform um, for a couple of reasons, but the biggest reason is to protect against piracy. You can use the digital version if you have an illegal license in the digital version, which I don't see how it can happen, but they always find a way. You can use the digital version, create as many design files as you want. Hey, Jesse, it's good to see you. But you won't be able to save them because unless you have an active license, what happens is when you go to save, before it actually saves, it reaches back into Wilcom's servers looking for your license. And if you have a license, it says, yeah, cool, you can save this. But if you don't have a license, if you don't have an active license, you will not be able to save. Let me go back here for a moment. And you're right, Doug. The support link is not any different than any other type of software. Developers are only going to support older versions for so long. And in case of Wilcom, it's your current version plus the previous two. Cindy recently upgraded to Windows 2026. And one of the things, the priorities with that is if you have a dongle, you need to send that dongle in. um, well, technically it is of no use to you anymore. And they don't want that dongle floating out into the masses as a legal software. So Cindy was saying that it was a little scary. And it is. Giving up your dongle is a little scary because all the what ifs. What if? Um, but it works out. It works out. I've been working with the digital for 2 years now. 2 years, 3 years. Whenever DE first came out, I haven't had any issues at all. All right. Oops, I got to catch up here. One moment. Yeah, Joanne says she misses her dongle. All right, let's go on to the next. Okay, so here are some options. You can make, if you decide to upgrade, you can make a one-time purchase of your upgrade. Remember, you do not have to upgrade. But if you're like me, you like all the new shiny things. You need to decide how you're going to purchase it. Are you going to make a one-time purchase, a one-time payment? Or are you going to subscribe to an annual subscription? And let me tell you, with the one-time purchase, you get all of the new functions with the new release, but all of the elements you still have to purchase separately. So if you want to do motifs. If you want, not motifs, if you want to create a motif, you have to have the motif element. Um, Again, if you want to do team names, if you want to do specialized team names, one of the things that I can do is I can create a design and then map out where each of the names or each of the added pieces need to go. And then I can save all of that together. So it's not just a list of names or a list of whatever it is that the team name function is doing for us. But those are all separate elements. With the annual subscription, you're always up to date. You're always up to date during your subscription calendar. Cindy is absolutely right. Cindy says that the dongle was her security blanket. But listen, here's the big reason I went to digital. I travel with my software. I go to trade shows. I go to embroidery events, and I take my software with me so that I can work in the off hours. My biggest fear was losing or damaging that dongle while I am out. What if my bags are being checked, inspected by TSA at the airport, and they see this little flash drive, and it's no big deal to them. They think they put it back, but they didn't. It didn't get back in my suitcase. Now it's gone. To get a replacement dongle would be the cost of the software. So my biggest fear was losing my dongle while traveling or having my dongle damaged while traveling. So my security blanket in a dongle was actually a fear factor. So um, I like digital, but just like anybody else, my fear was, what if what if I don't upgrade? 10 years down the road, am I still going to have access to? Remember, it has to reach and find a license before you can save. And we have been assured that that is the case. Your license is always there if you um, if you decide not to upgrade, which goes to show here, if you do the one time, here's the advantage to the one time purchase. Yes, you're locked into the version that you have at the time you purchase, but you don't have to upgrade. You can run that same software forever. Brendan tells me that there are people that they support that are still using E2, which is like 100 years old. Okay, not 100 years old, but it's an older version. It's one of the well, it's the second version. Um, you can run that. You never have to upgrade. But the annual subscription will give you everything for the cost of your subscription. If you if you need support, you've got it. If you need an element to make your own motifs, you've got it. In fact, you get all 17. In fact, you get all 17 of the available elements, and you get anything new as it's coming up. Your software is updated and upgraded um, throughout the calendar year of your subscription. Plus, plus you get additional stitch types. Yeah, I was kind of surprised to see that. So, depending on your current license, there is a one-time upgrade that could cost you anywhere. A one-time upgrade can cost you anywhere from $600, $900, $1,200. A subscription is worth the consideration. Just putting it out there. Okay, the future. Here we are, the future. As I said, Wilcom is intending to release a new version every year. Yeah, Barb, 17 elements. I went and looked it up. In fact, if you go to the website and they always have that, comparison between the different versions. The digital version goes the subscription version, you get everything. Where the one-time purchase, you see a little uh, shopping cart, meaning that you have to purchase that one. Okay, so from us, again, Wilcom intends to release a new feature, a new version every year. And from us, the users, yes, you, they're looking for ideas, suggestions to improve and make the functionality more efficient and a better software for your production. There are many great ideas mentioned at the meeting. Some of my favorites included, and I'm going to bounce over to the software real quick. Oh, I just did that one this morning. Oh, here comes Carly. She heard the mouse click. Yes, Joanne's right. You make the one-time purchase. You do not have to repurchase any elements that you already have. Your one-time purchase is going to, the fee for your one-time purchase is going to depend on your current license. If you have just a base license, but you want the extra elements, that's going to factor into your purchase. Um, if you have all the elements you want and you just need to upgrade to the next version, that's going to factor into your upgrade. So one of the suggestions that came up was regarding what they're calling real estate. This is my workspace. There's a lot of icons here, and I have a larger screen. Now, if you only have a 13-inch screen and you have all of this open, your workspace is considerably smaller. And in order to get it bigger, you have to shut down some of your Dockers. And if you need even more room, and I'm going to just move these because I don't want to lose them, you have to shut down some of your toolboxes. Just imagine these aren't here, okay? That's the only way you're going to get more workspace, is to shut down your Dockers and your tools. So that was a really big consideration. I'm going to close this, and then I'll fix it later. That was a really big consideration. Oh, there was one other thing. Um, let's say you have this toolbar. You love this toolbar. You love this toolbar. Um, but you don't use the string setting, or you don't use this tatami. Oh, yes, I do. I use the tatami settings. But you don't use the coil setting. Maybe you don't use the contour setting. One of the suggestions that came up is that within the toolbar, you could hide specific icons within your toolbar, which would make the toolbar smaller to just the parts that you use. Another thing that was suggested was that within your toolbar, you can move things around to what makes sense for you. So, for example, up here, where was it? Up here we have our save button. I would like to put my save button next to my exports. This is an individual export. This is an output. It outputs multiple files. I would like to move that. Yes, it works here, but it's an extra step. And I know it's only about 5 inches to move my hand, 5 inches. But if it were right here, I could just click, 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 and be done. And then on to the next one. So those are some suggestions that came out in our conversation. Oh, so and Cindy, this one was for you. I thought of this one. I made a note of this one for Cindy. Cindy uses chenille. She creates chenille. Um, but one of the users that was in the group is a chenille user, and she specifically asked for new features within the chenille element of the software. As she said, it hasn't been changed for years, and there are some things that could benefit, could make the chenille function more efficient and more production friendly. So, um, and she had some great suggestions, and they talked about them at length. So, Cindy, you may get an upgrade to your chenille features. Yay! So, so with that, when you're using your software, if you find yourself saying that you wish this function was different or you wish it would do something else, um, or maybe you want a different feature, yay! I thought you would like that, Cindy. Um, you need to let Wilcom know. Send them an email. They're available. There are a couple of groups on Facebook and other social media. Send them a message. Who knows? Your idea may find its way into the next version. And here, I'm not allowed. I was given permission by Brendan to put out this little teaser. I can't tell you any of the details, but I can tell you that it's a major efficiency upgrade and that I personally am very excited to put it in production. I am I am excited. And I'm one of those people that uh, likes the latest and greatest. Um, so yeah, that's what's happening. That's what's happening with Wilcom. And I want to encourage you again, if you have a thought about what would make um, the software more efficient for yourself, more efficient for your production, reach out and tell them. Tell them. Okay. So what's next? In March, oh, and I don't think this will affect you. It's a Sunday. Never mind. I have a 1 day setup I'm going to do in March, but it's a Sunday, so it won't affect us here. Next week, I want to continue my impressions, um, experience, and I'm going to talk about the embroidery toolkit. That was hosted by Eric Campbell, Justin Armenta, uh, Joe Kramer, and Katie. I can never remember her last name. She was really good too. She had a lot of great information for, especially the prosumer. That would be us, uh, the at-home um, crafter. Uh, If you ever get a chance, I'll find her name. I'll set up a link in the description of on YouTube for this. But if you ever get a chance to visit with her or to participate in one of her classes, you would like it. You will like it. So next week we'll start talking about the embroidery toolkit. While we're here, oh, Cindy, I'm sorry, I missed it. Let me go back. Yay, Doug. Yes, Doug. There are some of the elements are included now with the digital digital release, but not all of them, and there are quite a few more. I'm looking for your question, Cindy. Let's see. One time gives you all the elements. Didn't realize there were so many. It took hers out of the. Did I miss it? I don't think it came up. We're back to dongles. Cindy, can you put it back out there? I'll hang around. I know that there's a slight delay. Diane, thank you. Thank you. We'll talk about more impressions next week. I'm going to hang out here for a minute, waiting for Cindy's questions. Sequence on color object list. Oh, what do you want to see happen? I'll wait. We can send that out over to the team. Um, so changing the color arrangement. I think you can already do that. I will explore that, Cindy. Cindy's talking about changing the way the colors, changing the parts of your design that stitch into a different order. At least I believe that's what she's talking about. If I'm wrong, Cindy, send me a message and I'll explore that. And maybe we can touch on that next week, or we can, if it's necessary, we'll make a whole production of it. So with that, I have a client coming over this morning. I should get going. I want to. They used to have arrows. Now they're in a different. Yeah, they're in a different spot. You want those arrows? Hang on. Let me go back. Add to scene. Like I said, I got to fix all of this. Are you talking about these arrows? Can you see? Oh, you can't see down there. Hold on. Are you talking about these arrows? They're still there. Of course, I don't remember which toolbar they are. Hold on. I lost the top of my window. There we go. All right. So if you go to any blank area in your toolbar and Docker area and you left click, that will bring a whole list of toolboxes that are available to you. And again, I don't remember exactly which one it is. So what I do is I go through, I think it might be sequence. Yep, there it is. It's sequence. I go through and just click and unclick and watch what the system does. And if that, oh, I wanted to keep that one, so I'll click it back on. But here are my arrows. And I put my arrows at the bottom. You can put your arrows anywhere you want. Does that help? Oh, but because not everybody, Cindy wants to know why they're not connected to the object list. Be a default to the object list. We can make that suggestion. Let me find my object list. Is that it? There it is. No, it'd have to be the film strip. Where is it? Information. There it is. So what you're suggesting is that it be actually part of the object list. Is that correct? Make that suggestion. All right. I can do that. I can do that today even. So with your color object list, you want the sequencing tools to be directly attached to it. Okay, I got it. Woohoo! All right. Did it used to be? I never noticed. But then I've been using the digital version for a while now. So, okay. All right, everybody. Like I said, I've got a client coming in. Um, just to make more room on the real estate, who knows? But we can talk to him about it again. All right. You all have a great weekend. You have an amazing week, and we'll see you. I guess it'd be helpful. You could actually see me. We'll see you all next week. Thank you again for being here, and there we go. Bye now. Fun? Do you have more questions? Do you want to learn something new? Join me at quicktostitch.com for coffee and conversation, and we'll talk about it. Embroidery machines, designs, and business. Hope to see you soon. Bye now.